In this presentation, I will take you through the history of roshnee, mainly focusing on the development of roshnee through religious backgrounds and influence. Roshnee, prior to its development into a town, was used during the Anglo-Boer War as a graveyard site in certain areas, while other areas were used as a weapon storage and prison. A good example of this is the blockhouse in Meyerton, which is not far from Roshnee. This monument was used as a military barrack and watchtower during the war. Roshnee is a small town past the south of Johannesburg in the Vaal area. It is close to a town called Vereeniging. Roshnee was founded in the year 1967 by a small group of Muslim families. Many of these Muslim families came from an area called Sharpeville and Everton, where they were relocated during the apartheid regime. The name Roshnee means light in the Indian language known as Gujarati, and this name was given to this town with the intention of this town being a beacon of light and hope. Roshnee, being a majority Indian Muslim community, meant that this town developed mainly around an Indian Muslim culture. The very first public building erected in Roshnee was the Jamia Mosque of Roshnee, also known as Masjid Noor. In Arabic, the word Noor means light, which is ironic that the very first public building erected in Roshnee and the name of Roshnee both mean the same thing and have the same intentions. In this picture, we can see the local community gathering around to witness religious leaders assisting in the digging of the foundation of the very first mosque in Roshnee. Close to Masjid Noor, the first street known as Asir Crescent was located, where most of the houses were. At the mosque, religious classes were held and this became a focal point of the community. In this picture, we can see Masjid Noor during the construction with the classrooms towards the back. In this picture, the circle area can be identified as the classes used for religious classes and later a pre-primary. The market area of Roshnee was then developed next to the mosque. This was developed in the same manner as most Eastern countries to allow for the mosque to be in the central hub of the town. In this picture, we can see the early market area with the minaret in the background. In this picture, we can see the market area of Roshnee in a more later stage. In this picture, we can see the market area of Roshnee at present. Once more, next to the mosque, the first school was established to further enhance the hub of the town. This school is still being used till today, although it is no longer a full school, but now restricted to being just. As Roshnee began to grow, it split into three major sections. The first being Roshnee, the old town. The second being a section called Dedawa, which was founded by a family called the Dedawais, hence the name Dedawa. The third being an extension of Roshnee, and the first extension of Roshnee. This was known as Extension 1. As the years began to pass, there was a greater influx of people into this town, and due to more space being needed, flats were developed. Picture, we can see one of the very first flats of Roshnee being developed and constructed. In this picture, we can see Roshnee's hub with the market area, mosque, and the circle area being two major flats in Roshnee. In this picture, we can see the border between Roshnee and Extension 1 in the early days. The picture towards the bottom shows us this very same corner or border at present day. In this picture, we can see one of the very first houses in extension 1 being built. In this picture here towards the bottom, we can see houses at present day in extension 1. In this picture, we can see Deadaville at present. This area is a park in Deadaville. The first circle area used to be a weapon storage in the past before Roshnee was developed, and is now being used at present as a park. The second circle is the area that used to be an old prison, an old prison which was used for war prisoners. This area today is being used as my grandfather's house, and whilst constructing this house, while digging the foundation, they found keys to the cell of the prison that used to be there. Thank you for listening to this presentation, and I hope it helped you with the history of Roshnee.